For neural regulation of respiration, most of the students memorize various centers, receptor and reflexes, but forget everything in the exam. What if I show you one flowchart and one story to help you to remember everything, the entire answer, right from the medullary center, Pontine center, the various respiratory reflexes. Stay till the end and I will show you how to maximum recall with a minimum cognitive load. At the end of this video, you will be able to reconstruct the entire answer with the help of only 3 words, that is engine, brakes and sensor. Here the engine represents brainstem, brakes represent the pons and sensor represent lungs and body. So let's start with it. Respiration shows 2 types of control. First one is voluntary control, other one is automatic control. Voluntary control, which originates from cerebral cortex, it helps in talking, singing, breath holding and swimming. Whereas automatic control, which originates from brainstem, that is respiratory centers, it keeps you alive during sleep and it's important for survival breathing. We are going to study this. Now this neural regulation of respiration you can remember by this car analogy, where brainstem is a driver, respiratory muscle is the engine and lungs which gives you constant feedback. There are 2 medullary centers. First is dorsal and ventral respiratory group. Dorsal respiratory group, it controls quiet breathing, contains mainly the inspiratory neurons and sends RAM signal to the diaphragm, whereas ventral respiratory group, it is active during exercise or heavy breathing and it is responsible for forced expiration. It contains both inspiratory as well as expiratory neurons. So DRG, it stands for default or daily breathing or drives the regular gasps, whereas the ventral respiratory group, it is V for vigorous breathing. Now we are having main pacemaker, that is a pre-Bötzinger complex. It generates the respiratory rhythm. Like SA node for the heart, this pre-Bötzinger complex is for the lungs. Moving up the Pontine center, which acts like a brake and accelerator. Pneumotaxic center, it acts like a brake. The acts like the off switch, stop inspiration early and it results in faster breathing rate. Whereas Apneustic center, A for accelerator, it stimulates inspiration, keeps inspiration going longer and it results in deep prolonged breathing. You can remember this with the help of mnemonic. Pneumotaxis says time's up, get out, whereas Apneustic center, Appen, needs more air. In this battle results, vagus nerve helps Pneumotaxic center to win. So here the master flow chart to remember the entire automatic loop. Dorsal respiratory group of neurons start the inspiration, causing the respiratory muscles to contract and the lungs inflate. Now this results in integrated neurons to reach threshold and it activates the inspiratory off switch neurons and ultimately the inspiration stop. So this is a one-line recall, that is dorsal respiratory group of neurons start and inspiratory off switch neurons stop and repeat the cycle. So here comes the last part of the topic, that is various lung receptors and the reflexes. Remember 3 words, stretch, irritate and jam. The stretch receptors, they are mainly activated by overinflation causing the Herring-Brewer reflex. In this, too much of air initiates this reflex and it stops inspiration. The second one is irritant receptor. It is mainly triggered by smoke and dust, releases histamine and it causes cough and sneeze. Remember, irritation leads to eviction. And then lastly, the J receptors. It is mainly triggered by fluid, edema and congestion and it causes the rapid shallow breathing, J for jammed lungs. Now let's wrap up with some important exam gold Viva secrets. First, the Pontine curse, the loss of automatic breathing, patient depend entirely on voluntary breathing and here the falling asleep is a fatal. Breath holding, you cannot hold it forever because the rising carbon dioxide eventually overrides the voluntary control. And lastly, if the examiner asks about the stretch receptors, irritant or J receptors, and if you are confused, always guess vagus because it is the main messenger and you always be right. Now go and watch these 2 videos. First explain the neural regulation of respiration, how to write 10 marks university answer, and second video, revision of regulation of respiration to revise the entire topic in 5 minutes. Thank you.